What's going on, guys? It's Carlton from Hindsight, and we finally have a chance to do a game review. Um, I haven't done one in a long time, as far as playing games, and yeah, it was. We're gonna start with Days Gone. I finally finished it a couple days ago, and I'm gonna give a quick review, my thoughts on it, and at the end, I'm gonna give it a ranking. I'm gonna do out of 10, whatever out of 10. Um, First, I would like to say that I was really disappointed with the way the game, how it unfolded, how it ended. It Yeah, it was just disappointing, especially it being an exclusive, a PlayStation exclusive, because usually they have good games. Um, but I'm gonna get into it. I'll talk about some of those things later. But first, like the basis of the game is pretty much survival. You start out as this guy, Deacon St. John, and obviously it's the end of the world type thing. Zombies and everything's going on. Things are crazy, but you got three camps that you end up being a part of. Doing stuff for majority of the game. You got Copeland's Camp, Hot Springs, and eventually Lost Lake once you start getting into it more. And the camps got their own perks to it. Like Copeland's Camp has, you do things for them. You can upgrade your bike. They don't really have any weapons for you to get, but they got ammo, supplies like that. But mainly for Copeland's Camp, it's your bike. Hot Springs, their perks are the weapons. Lost Lakes is weapons and bikes and supplies. And they always got stuff for you to do, like a lot of activities. They want you to take out ambush camps. They got bounties on people. There's some hordes you got to clear out. And you got Nero checkpoints. So with the ambush camps, I'll start with that. With the ambush camps, you get to, when you clear them out, you got to find their bunker. And the good thing about that, when you clear them out, you get find things. They have a little map when you go down there. You can sleep there. Stay there to change the weather. To change the day, the time of day. And they also usually have crafting recipes. Like you get to craft your weapons. So you get like I've had a bat with buzz saws or chainsaw, something like that. So you just get new crafting supplies, crafting recipes, and even with the activities that they have you do, whatever camp it is, you get to earn their trust or whatever. And depending on what type of level of trust you earn, you get the level of upgrades from whatever the things that they specialize in, upgrading your bike. Now with upgrading your bike, that's probably one of the main things that you want to do because you're gonna need it. Obviously you ride around with it all the time, and you pretty much can't lose it, or they'll retrieve it for you, whatever you want to do. It's big on weapons also because there are better weapons. The weapons you start out with, they're not good. They suck. So you do want to earn trust. But I didn't spend too much time doing a lot of activities because I really just wanted to get through the story because the game it was a little irritating, and some of the story modes were some of the storylines and it was kind of unnecessary. As far as I kind of felt like they dragged it out a little bit, but I'll get to that later. Now, the fun thing about it was the Nero checkpoints and the hordes. So the Nero checkpoints were kind of fun because when you get to one of the checkpoints, you gotta give it power. And when you give it power, they have these speakers. But what you want to do before you give it power is you want to cut the speakers off. Because if you don't do that, obviously it's gonna alert zombies. And sometimes I didn't find the speakers. Now the annoying part about the Nero checkpoints were that some of them had blown fuses. Like it got irritating and repetitive, so you had to spend time to find the fuse and repair it. And that was a little irritating. But the good thing about finding the checkpoints is you get boost, so you get to upgrade your stamina or your health or your focus, and obviously those are big things. Mainly, the one that I wanted to upgrade a lot was the stamina, because if you run into hordes, they're pretty fast. They could catch you and take you out pretty fast, like you saw a little bit earlier in the video. But yeah, I mainly upgraded my stamina, so I did do a little bit of the Nero checkpoints. The hordes, yeah, they were fun, trying to take those out. I have some of that in the video. Now I'm gonna go through the list of the good things. There's not a lot of good things, so I'm gonna just do that first. The hordes, like I said, that was fun. I love like trying to take on hordes, because there's different ways you can do it once you start getting more weapons and things like that. And you get to try to plan out how you want to do it. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you plan, because you do a lot of running, and sometimes you run out of stamina, and that could be bad. But they also have things to boost your stamina or keep it for a longer time. Like they got a stamina cocktail thing that you obviously have to find the crafting recipe for that in ambush camps. So you kind of do have to do ambush camps, but you don't necessarily have to do it. You can still take on hordes and still survive. It's just a little harder to do it. Now there are some hordes, they're bigger than others, so you kind of got to be smart about how you want to do it. The other good thing that they had about the game was I like some of the weapons that they have. They have some sweet guns, but you kind of got to get further in the game once you start finding other camps, or earning more trust, which you can also do in the just completing the story mode. You can earn their trust and get better weapons and stuff like that. So that's some of the good things about it. Now the bad things, I got a long list of them. So I felt like they released the game too soon. That's just my opinion. First of all, I do want to say this. All this is my opinion. You guys can still get the game if you want, but these are my opinions. So I feel like they released the game way too soon, because it was just too many glitches. There was too many times where the game would freeze up when I'm riding my bike to a certain part of the map or any part of the map. And it was very frustrating, because there would be times where I'm riding my bike or I'm getting chased by a horde or an animal or something, and it freezes up, and by the time it's going back into play, I get stuck or I run into a tree or something like that. So that was very frustrating. Yeah, it was just way too many glitches. At some points in the story mode, I felt like they had too many cutscenes, like way too many cutscenes. It was unnecessary. Like you'll be playing part of the story mode, and then 2 seconds later you're into a cutscene, and then you go back to playing, and then there's another cutscene. I think I had one mission I was playing. There was at least 5 cutscenes in one mission, so it dragged that mission on longer than I really wanted it to be. And I just felt like that was very unnecessary. And there were a lot of things in it that was very repetitive. I also felt like there were a lot of missions in the story itself that were very repetitive, that was also unnecessary. Like there's a part where they want you to go meet your friend Boozer. So I go to meet him, and they talk for like 2 seconds, and that was a mission right there. I just felt like that was unnecessary. And then I got graded on it. So they do grade you on missions, but I felt like I didn't really understand the grading system and how they did it percentage-wise. Like when I met Boozer, like I said, they talked for 2 seconds, and that was a mission right there. They graded me like a 33% out of 100, and I didn't understand. Did I do something wrong? All I did was go meet him, So I just felt like that there's a lot of unnecessary stuff. Like they wanted to drag the storyline out or whatever they did. It was just too long. A lot of their missions, like I said, were unnecessary. You go meet up with somebody and that was it, or you just take the time to take your bike somewhere, and it was just too long. Like it didn't make any sense. I didn't like the ending of the story. Like I just felt like it was too predictable. Well, kind of predictable. It was way too long. Um, it just it didn't make any sense. And there was a part where you're fighting the last guy, and I still had one guy left before him that we were having a shootout with. The game glitched out, and I could not bring my gun back out, and I was getting shot the whole time, and I died probably 5, 6 times off of that alone. And in games you can't have that, especially when you're spending $60 for a game. That's not cool. It just makes me not want to get the game or just give the game back. I will say though, there are some cool looking zombies out there. They got all different types of zombies, all different types of animals out there. That stuff is fun, but as far as the storyline, I really didn't like it. It was like I said, too long. They dragged it on. A lot of unnecessary storylines. They do have different like groups of people you got to take out or stuff like that. That was kind of fun, but I think the game itself was very, very irritating. It was very frustrating because, like I said, they had a lot of glitches, and I just feel like they didn't. They had patches, but I just feel like they didn't fix things. And I know they added a survival mode to the game, and honestly, the game was so frustrating that I didn't even want to play the survival mode, so I didn't even attempt to play the survival mode. But the best part about the game to me are the hordes. That was like the most fun that I've had playing the game. Was the hordes, because it's, like I said, you gotta find different ways to take them on, and they're fast, and it was always cool to get in my focus and slow it down and take out zombies, and try to find different ways to take them out, blowing stuff up because they trip over each other and stuff like that. That part of the game was fun. Frustrating parts of the game, the Nero, when you're in the story modes and you're trying to follow Nero, trying to hear what they're saying. That was a little irritating because I think they had like 4 or 5 missions of that alone, and sometimes you had to follow them when they're walking around. But it was the way they had the soldiers positioned. You couldn't necessarily follow them without being seen, and you can't take the soldiers out. You can't shoot them. They won't even let you bring your guns out. But I felt like it. It was hard for me to follow. Like there was sometimes where I would be following them too. Also, I'll be following them and they say I was too far, and I just felt like they made that too hard. And like I said, it was probably like 4 or 5 missions of that alone, and they could have cut that down to probably like 2. I just felt like there was a lot of things about this game that was very unnecessary, and it was very frustrating to get through this game. I think that's why it took me so long to actually play this game, is because there were a lot of frustrating things, and I felt like I said, they released this game way too soon. I wouldn't recommend you spending $60 on it. I'm pretty sure it's not $60 by now. Hopefully it's not. I think it's a GameFly type of game, if you ask me. That's just me. That's just my opinion. Or a Redbox type of game. You just go to Redbox and get it. It's definitely not worth $60 like I spent. I even think I got, maybe a little pass or something. I think I pre-ordered it and I got some skins for the bike or whatever, but I don't think it was worth any of that. If I could take it back, I definitely would. The game just it was very disappointing, especially because I like the basis of it. I like the survival part of it. The zombies, I thought they were cool. The newts, the breakers, the big guys, the screamers, even the newts that were stealing things from you. I like crafting things, trying to take things out of cars and putting them as your suppressors for your guns and getting scrap. And I like that type of stuff. That was fun. or even getting chased by hordes on your bike. I thought that was fun, but I just the story itself was it was kind of, I thought they were a little lazy on that. Like I said, I thought it was pretty predictable. But now I'm gonna get into the rating. It was very hard for me to rate this game because I didn't want to be too nice as far as giving it a rating. But actually, I end up giving it a generous rating. So the verdict is, I gave it a 6 out of 10, but I really kind of wanted to give it a 5 out of 10. But I'm gonna give it a 6 because, like I said, fighting the hordes was probably the funnest part of the game, and you can do it at the beginning, but mainly at the end is where you, like in the story, you actually start fighting some, and they give you better things to use. You're better equipped to fight horrors, to take on horrors. So at the end of the game, that was it was fun, doing that. But as far as the conclusion of the game, the storyline, it was horrible. But yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. And like I said, it could have definitely been better. I feel like they released it way too soon. Maybe they could have waited another year or so. That's just my opinion on it. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed my review and the things that I had said about it. I'm gonna leave you guys with a few more clips of some good moments, some fun that I had with the game, the little bit of fun that I did have with the game. Remember, guys, like and subscribe. I got more game reviews coming on. I think I'm gonna switch back to Mortal Kombat and eventually do some rate the fighters or something like that. But until then, I'm gonna leave you guys with these clips. This is Carlton from Hindsight. I'm signing off.
At ease. Come on. Come on. Come on. Shit. Come on. Shut up. Can you hear me? Hello? Get him the fuck out of here. Yes! That, my friend, is a napalm Molotov.
Deacon, look out!
left. Fire in the hole! Let it go! More to come! Yeah, come on! Line him up! I can see him there! Yeah! Oh, you don't like that! Stop it!
St. John, looks like you're down to about half of them. Keep going.
I'm on it. Fresh meat for you. Here you go.
The horde, it's right on top of you.
Not yet. Now it's time to burn it down. You ready for that? How's that feel, huh? Like that? Come on, you son of a bitch. Yeah, come on. Hurry, how am I doing?
You're almost there, Corporal. Maybe a quarter to go.
Going down, yeah!
St. John, the horde is moving.
Oh, you don't like that, do you? Fresh meat for you. How's that feel, huh? You like that? Come on. Come on, you sons of bitches. Yeah, come on. Go down, yeah! Get her! Ah. Oh, you don't like that, do you? Right in front of you! Fresh meat for you! How's that feel, huh?
Move, St. John, move!
You're not gonna tell me. You like that? Do you? Let's do this! Come on!
St. John, get out of there!
Moving! Hurry, please! Please just tell me that's all of them.
Weaver did it. Oh,
I've never seen anything like this. With the way you were one step ahead of them?
ever had a horde breathing down your neck? It really keeps the adrenaline flowing.
Maybe the Colonel's right. Maybe we can win this war.